Communist Chinese came out and said they were going to massively expand their nuclear arsenal and prepare for war with the United States. They're threatening to annex major islands around them that have never even been theirs, like the Philippines. I thought Trump should respond at that time. Well, I guess he got the briefing in the last few days because he came out this morning in a tweet and said, we're going to upgrade our nuclear arsenal until the world comes to its senses, talking about Communist China, who started the whole thing. I'm going to show you the articles. What did our collaborator Trader Media do? They came out and said he's insane and called for nuclear war. They said he just said this out of nowhere and wouldn't even give you his full quote. But we're going to do that. We're going to treat you like men and women. We're going to treat you like you've got a brain and show you who first called for nuclear war, who first called for expanding their arsenals. China and then Russia. And then our collaborator media is lying about our president. I've studied history and I've never known of traitors and scum as bad as the liberals and Democrats. These people are absolute cancer. I seek the truth. It's my identity. It's my philosophy. It's my guiding North Star. I don't owe any allegiance to Donald John Trump. I owe an allegiance to the truth and to my family and to security and prosperity and standing up against bullies. And the corporate-controlled media tells me that Donald Trump's a bully. They tell me he's a strong man, as if the idea of a strong man itself is bad. When they're the ones trying to intimidate people, they're the thugs that are out there terrorizing not just Donald Trump, but his family and his supporters, and then trying to guilt us collectively into submitting to their will. The truth is, America has been partially conquered by multinational corporations that are establishing a private corporate world government. So when I file these special reports and defend Trump, I'm not defending the man, because I go and study and weigh each issue. I'm defending the truth, and I'm defending reality, and I'm exposing the mainstream media that lies to you like you're an idiot. You don't have to believe me. All you have to do is check these facts for yourself. Now, I'm going to show you the articles here in a moment. But I took one day off to take my son hunting. One day I turned the cell phones off. And I woke up this morning and heard that Donald Trump was trying to start a nuclear war. Now, I already knew the facts from days before. And I went, oh, I bet it's China a week and a half ago coming out and saying they're going to build new nukes because of Trump and break their agreements. And then Russia, that's right by China, a week after said, we're going to have to build more nukes for our security. And then sure enough, they're blaming Trump because China, who's been breaking all its treaties about the South China Sea, you name it, about nukes, lowering their currency, corporate taxes. I mean, they are screwing us. They steal all our intellectual property. They treat their people like slaves, and they treat us the same. And sure enough, I spent hours today when I got home from hunting looking at the disinfo, the hysteria. He's going to cause a nuclear war. Oh my God, he's crazy, irresponsible. Remove him now. The People's Daily and other communist papers on December 6th, 7th, and 8th published huge articles of their 300+ million population. It was in U.S. News that China was going to build new nukes to counter America and Russia. Folks that don't know, Russia and China have more of a history of hating each other than the U.S. and Russia. Kind of like Shiite and Sunni kill each other, but Americans think it's just Muslims against us or Muslims against Christians. It's far more complex. So I sat here and I read all these headlines, and it was just like the end of the world. Meanwhile, Trump's real tweets and statements were, until the world comes to its senses with China and others building all these new nukes, I guess we'll have to up the nukes and defend ourselves until you abide by the old agreements you've broken. I mean, I know about START 1 and START 2 and the stuff Reagan did and Bush Sr. I followed all that. I know all these treaties he's talking about. I don't just believe Trump. They're breaking them. China's breaking them. And under Obama, we started breaking them. So Russia's breaking them. But it was like China, U.S., Russia. It's like I'm cursed with being informed. And then I get up in the morning and hear Donald Trump wants nuclear war, and they just misrepresent it to all these weird, trendy liberals who want war with Russia. And that's the biggest thing here, is they're using something China did to act like it's the U.S. and Russia when Trump has put out a letter saying, I want to work with Russia and not have conflicts and I want to have more trade. And Putin agreed. That was just 2 days ago in a Christmas letter. And then Trump's response, you'd think this was the U.S. and Russia. This is the U.S. and China. But don't believe me. I'm going to show you the dates. A 5-year-old can understand this. And I know you understand this, but we've got to get this out to trendies. They think if they act trendy and want war, it's cool. We've got as Americans, as people that want justice, not left or right, but just Renaissance supporters who want peace and commerce and a free college of ideas, classical liberals. We have to just cool things down and talk about reality. So let's look at this first article out of The Atlantic. That is the liberal mouthpiece. Could Trump's tweets spark a nuclear arms race? A non-proliferation expert puts the president-elect's latest remarks in context, but doesn't tell you what Russia and China are saying. So let's look at this headline. China needs more nuclear weapons to deal with Trump's government. Mouthpiece newspaper says extra defense is required should U.S. treat Beijing unacceptably. And they go on the 8th, almost 2 weeks ago, to say build up our nukes. So Putin comes out, again, a week later and says, we're going to build more nukes. And the media says that it's Trump's fault. Let's continue. This is Reuters today. Trump arms race comment sows more doubt on nuclear policy. So our entire controlled media is collaborating with the communist Chinese, acting like our president responding, saying, we'll up our nukes until sanity comes back to you. They take that out of context and act like just suddenly he tweeted and put out statements from his generals saying, fine, we'll up our arsenals if you break the treaties. But they leave out the part about the treaty. They just say he's crazy. He wants nukes. Trump's arms race comment. Oh my gosh. Let's continue. Trump and Putin, what's the worst case scenario? They talk about nuclear war happening between us and Russia and imply that's what Trump's saying. This is China today after saying on the 6th that they want more nuclear weapons. U.S. must cut, not increase nukes, says China. So they say we're going to build more nukes. They threaten to attack Philippines and Japan and everybody else if we don't submit to them. Our media goes and starts attacking Trump, says that he's calling for nuclear war when it's China threatening everybody and saying they're building up the arsenal. And then they got the nerve today to come out on December 23rd and say, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we need America to cut its nukes. Donald Trump's dangerous, and our media agrees to try to disarm the American people. Let's look at another article. Chinese state media warns of U.S. showdown for Donald Trump picks anti-China trade advisor. Again, they're threatening military attacks on us if we just create a level playing field. And our collaborator media is working with them. There's no bottom to how low they go. There's no level of traitorous activity they won't plumb to. Have some decency and admit to yourself and everybody else that it's the communist Chinese that announced December 6th, 7th, and 8th that they were expanding their nuclear arsenal and threatening nuclear war with the United States and surrounding nations as well. My God. Most of the country sees through your delusional behavior, but this is treason you're involved in. Siding with the communist Chinese against the truth and against America, all because you watch Comedy Central and they make it cool to hate Donald Trump. Big U.S. corporations sold out to China a long time ago, but at least they got paid off to do it. You trendy dumbasses are schmucks. You're dupes. You're useful idiots. You're not geopolitically informed. You're not militarily trained. You don't understand geopolitical stratagems. But you pretend to be intellectuals when you come from weak, chicken-necked families who are always cowards and weak. And those of us that were strong tried to build you up. We tried to give you a platform to be strong, but instead you tried to pull down the West. We tried to give you the Holy Grail, the Excalibur of honor. And now you've sided with lowly, demonic, communist enemies to lie about our president. You really are shameful. But it's really just up to us that haven't given over our souls to communism to stand against you. I know you worship at the black altar of totalitarianism. You think that that will give you and your shell of a soul power, but really you just don't count. I should stop trying to address you. It's up to us that want to fight evil to stand against this and get the truth out. So get this video out to everybody because these collaborators are trying to start a nuclear war because they hate themselves so much.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and say, see, I told you so, that communist Chinese-style net censorship was coming to the web, because it's already here. It's being announced. The way you keep the internet open and free is you get involved more than ever. Go to Infowars.com/app. A new battleship in the fight. Infowars Live, available right now. We're looking for a crew to man it. You going to sit down and play games and be a trendy? Or are you going to be part of history? Don't sit by and let the internet and free speech be stolen from you. Take action.
2 weeks ago, on December 6th, the communist Chinese came out and said they were going to massively expand their nuclear arsenal and prepare for war with the United States. They're threatening to annex major islands around them that have never even been theirs. like the Philippines. I thought Trump should respond at that time. Well, I guess he got the briefing the last few days because he came out this morning in a tweet and said, we're going to upgrade our nuclear arsenal until the world comes to its senses, talking about communist China, who started the whole thing. I'm going to show you the articles. What did our collaborator Trader Media do? They came out and said he's insane and called for nuclear war. They said he just said this out of nowhere and wouldn't even give you his full quote. But we're going to do that. We're going to treat you like men and women. We're going to treat you like you've got a brain and show you who first called for nuclear war, who first called for expanding their arsenals. China and then Russia. And then our collaborator media is lying about our president. I've studied history and I've never known of traitors and scum as bad as the liberals and Democrats. These people are absolute cancer. I seek the truth. It's my identity. It's my philosophy. It's my guiding North Star. I don't owe any allegiance to Donald John Trump. I owe an allegiance to the truth and to my family and to security and prosperity and standing up against bullies.